the Book of Instructions. Al-Biruni's Kitab al-Tafhim, and the Synthesis of the Sciences. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Sufi Essence with Hamid Said. In the vast and shimmering intellectual landscape of the Islamic Golden Age, few figures shine as brightly and with such a multifaceted light as Abu Rayhan al-Biruni. A polymath in the truest sense of the word, Al-Biruni was a historian, a linguist, a pharmacist, a geographer, a philosopher, and, perhaps most famously, a master astronomer and mathematician. His intellectual project was not merely to accumulate facts, but to synthesize disparate fields of knowledge into a coherent, holistic vision of the universe. While his magnum opus, Al-Qanan al-Masudi, is rightly celebrated as a monumental encyclopedia of astronomy, it is a smaller, more accessible work that reveals the true genius of his method and his philosophical worldview. Kitab al-Tafhim Leo Whale, Senat al-Tanjim, which translates as the Book of Instructions in the Elements of the Art of Astrology. The title, however, belies the true scope of the work. Al-Biruni. Astrology was not a superstitious art, but a practical science built upon the solid foundations of mathematics and astronomy. The book, far from being a simple treatise on prognostication, is a masterwork of synthesis. A comprehensive and didactic guide that systematically links for essential fields of knowledge: mathematics, astronomy, astrology, and geography. It is a philosophical testament to the belief that the universe is a unified, divinely ordered system, where the terrestrial and the celestial are interconnected, and where knowledge itself is a journey from the tangible and mathematical to the sublime and cosmological. Today, we will undertake a comprehensive and structural analysis of this profound text. Our discourse will argue that Kitab al-Tafhim is a brilliant pedagogical tool and a philosophical statement, serving as a roadmap for understanding the universe as a single, coherent organism. We will move beyond a simple summary to engage with the intricate architecture of Al-Biruni's thought, following the book's four main parts. We will illuminate how Al-Biruni, in a unique and masterful way, uses mathematics as the foundational language, builds upon it with the descriptive science of astronomy, applies these principles through the predictive lens of astrology, and grounds it all in the practical, lived reality of geography. Our objective is to show how this remarkable book is not just a historical relic, but a powerful and timeless guide for a holistic understanding of knowledge and the universe. Part 1. The author, the context, and the didactic purpose. To fully appreciate Kitab al-Tafhim, one must first understand its author and the intellectual environment in which it was born. Abu Rayhan al-Biruni, 973-1048 CE, was a scholar of immense intellectual curiosity and unwavering objectivity. Born in what is now modern-day Uzbekistan, spent much of his life under the patronage of the Ghaznavid dynasty, particularly under Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni and later his son, Madid. Al-Biruni was renowned for his meticulous scientific method, which privileged observation and empirical data over unsubstantiated theory or blind tradition. His work on India, Kitab al-Hind, is a testament to this, where he painstakingly documented the customs, philosophies, and sciences of the Indian subcontinent with a rare degree of impartiality. Kitab al-Tafhim was written for a specific audience and for a specific purpose. It was a letter written for an educated princess, a woman named Rayhana bint al-Hazan. This context is crucial, as it explains the book's unique structure and didactic tone. The entire text is framed as a series of questions and answers, a clear and accessible format designed to instruct a curious and intelligent student in the fundamental principles of the sciences. This question-and-answer format allows Al-Biruni to present complex ideas in a logical, step-by-step manner, building a coherent intellectual structure from the ground up. The book was originally written in both Arabic and Persian, an act that underscores its pedagogical purpose to make these sciences accessible to a wider audience, transcending linguistic barriers and cementing its place as one of the most important early scientific texts in the Persian language. The work is a distillation of a lifetime of intellectual inquiry, presenting a holistic and integrated vision of the cosmos. For Al-Biruni, a true understanding of the universe was not possible through a compartmentalized approach to knowledge. One could not be a good astronomer without first being a master of mathematics. One could not practice a responsible form of astrology without a deep understanding of astronomy. And all of this theoretical knowledge had to be grounded in the practical, lived reality of geography. The book's structure, therefore, is not an arbitrary choice, but a philosophical statement about the interconnectedness of all knowledge and the unity of creation. It is a testament to the belief that the universe is a coherent text, and the sciences are the different chapters that allow us to read and understand its divine message. Part 2. The Foundation of Universal Order. The Science of Mathematics. Al-Biruni begins Kitab al-Tafhim with the foundational science of mathematics. For him, mathematics is not merely a tool for calculation, but the fundamental language of the universe. He sees it as the key that unlocks the secrets of creation, science that reveals the divine order, precision, and harmony that underlies all of existence. The first part of the book is a comprehensive yet concise introduction to the essential mathematical concepts that a student would need to understand the subsequent sections on astronomy and astrology. This section, which is structured as a series of questions and answers, covers a wide range of topics. Arithmetic. Al-Biruni begins with the basics of numbers, operations, and the principles of calculation. He explains concepts like prime numbers, squares, and cubes, providing a solid intellectual grounding for his student. Geometry. He then moves on to geometry, discussing the principles of lines, angles, shapes, and the calculation of areas and volumes. He introduces the reader to the geometry of the sphere, which is crucial for understanding the celestial sphere in the next section. Number theory. Al-Biruni also touches on more advanced topics in number theory, such as the properties of numbers and their relationship to one another. Al-Biruni's purpose here is not just to teach a student how to add or multiply, but to cultivate a specific way of thinking. He is training the mind to see the world in terms of order, proportion, and harmony. He understands that without this foundational intellectual discipline, a person's understanding of the cosmos will be haphazard and full of error. Mathematics is the intellectual filter that purifies the mind, allowing it to move from the chaotic and sensory world of perception to the ordered and abstract world of reality. For Al-Biruni, the very structure of the universe is mathematical, and to understand mathematics is, in a profound sense, to begin to understand God's creative wisdom. This is the first step on a journey of intellectual and spiritual discovery. Part 3. Mapping the Celestial Mechanism. The Science of Astronomy. The second section of Kitab al-Tafhim is a brilliant example of how Al-Biruni builds his intellectual edifice. Having laid the foundation of mathematics, he now moves on to astronomy, a science that uses the principles of mathematics to describe and understand the motions of the heavens. For Al-Biruni, the celestial bodies are not just distant lights in the sky, but a grand, celestial mechanism, a perfect and intricate clockwork of divine design. His treatment of astronomy is marked by his characteristic scientific rigor and his deep philosophical insight. In this section, he guides the student through a comprehensive study of the cosmos, addressing topics such as the celestial sphere. He explains the concept of the celestial sphere and its key components, including the celestial poles, the equator, and the ecliptic. This is a crucial concept as it provides a fixed framework for understanding the movements of the celestial bodies. The movements of the planets. Al-Biruni provides a detailed and accurate account of the movements of the sun, moon, and the planets. He uses the mathematical and geometric principles from the previous section to describe their orbits, their speeds, and their positions in the sky. He addresses the complexities of planetary retrograde motion and the concept of epicycles, which was the prevailing model of the time, the stars and constellations. He discusses the constellations and their names, providing both the Arabic and the older Persian nomenclature. It explains the concept of stellar parallax and the different types of stars, the calendar, and timekeeping. He explains the principles of the Islamic lunar calendar and the solar calendar, showing how they are derived from astronomical observation. He also discusses the methods of timekeeping and the calculation of the hours of the day and night. Al-Biruni's astronomy is not just descriptive, it is also a profound philosophical statement. The perfect and predictable movements of the celestial bodies are, for him, irrefutable evidence of a divine hand. The cosmos is not a random, chaotic collection of objects, but a perfect and ordered system. He connects this intellectual understanding to a spiritual reality, showing that the celestial movements are a tangible manifestation of God's power and wisdom. He encourages his student to look at the heavens not just with an astronomer's eye, but with a seeker's heart, seeing in the stars the divine message of the Creator. This section is a testament to the belief that the sciences, when pursued with a pure intention, can be a path to a deeper and more profound faith. Part 4. The application of celestial influence. The science of astrology. The third section of Kitab al-Tafhim is the one that gives the book its name, and is perhaps the most nuanced and complex. Al-Biruni moves from the descriptive science of astronomy to the applied science of astrology. For a modern reader, this might seem like a strange or even contradictory turn for a man so dedicated to scientific objectivity. However, a deeper reading of Al-Biruni reveals a profound and subtle approach. He does not treat astrology as a superstitious art of fortune-telling, but as a legitimate intellectual inquiry into the influence of the celestial bodies on terrestrial events. Al-Biruni's approach to astrology is marked by a crucial distinction. He separates the science ilm from the art sana. The science of astrology, for him, is a body of knowledge based on observation and mathematical calculation. The art of astrology, on the other hand, is the human act of interpretation, which is often flawed, fallible, and prone to error. He is particularly critical of the charlatans and fortune-tellers who use astrology for personal gain. His aim in Kitab al-Tafhim is to lay out the scientific principles of astrology so that the student can practice it with intellectual honesty and a profound sense of responsibility. In this section, he meticulously lays out the principles of the science, addressing topics such as the zodiac. He explains the 12 signs of the zodiac and their astronomical and astrological significance. He discusses their qualities, their elements, and their relationship to the seasons, the houses. He explains the concept of the 12 houses of the horoscope and their meaning in a person's life. From their health and wealth to their relationships and career, planetary aspects. He discusses the different aspects of the planets, for example, conjunction, opposition, trine, and their potential influences on one another, predictive principles. He provides a guide to the principles of astrological prognostication, but he does so with a great deal of caution and intellectual humility. He repeatedly reminds the student that these are not deterministic laws, but probabilistic influences. The human will, for Al-Biruni, is a potent force, and the celestial influences are just one factor in a complex web of causation. The philosophical purpose of this section is to demonstrate the profound interconnectedness of the cosmos. Al-Biruni's universe is not a series of isolated systems, but a single, coherent organism. The celestial bodies, in their perfect and predictable movements, have a subtle but real influence on the terrestrial world. This is not a matter of magic or superstition, but a testament to the unity of creation. For Al-Biruni, to understand the influence of the heavens is to understand God's all-encompassing wisdom and the intricate web of causation that holds the universe together. It is a beautiful and sophisticated attempt to reconcile the rational and the intuitive, the terrestrial and the celestial, and to show that a true understanding of the universe requires a knowledge of all its parts. Part 5. The terrestrial realm and the divine compass. The science of geography. The fourth and final section of Kitab al-Tafhim is a profound act of grounding. Al-Biruni moves from the celestial to the terrestrial, from the abstract world of mathematics and astronomy to the concrete, lived reality of the earth. He dedicates this section to geography, but his treatment is far from a simple description of lands and seas. For Al-Biruni, geography is the science that makes all other theoretical knowledge practical and useful for a person's life. In this section, he addresses topics such as the shape and dimensions of the earth. Al-Biruni, using a combination of observation and mathematical calculation, provides a highly accurate account of the earth's spherical shape and its dimensions. He discusses the concept of longitude and latitude and the methods for their determination. He also discusses the concept of the poles and the equator and their relationship to the climate of different regions. The measurement of distances. He provides a guide to the methods for measuring distances on Earth. Using a combination of astronomical and terrestrial methods, This is a crucial skill for a traveler, a merchant, or a geographer. Cartography. He explains the principles of map-making and the methods for projecting a three-dimensional sphere onto a two-dimensional map. The determination of the Qibla. This is perhaps the most practical and religiously significant aspect of this section. Al-Biruni provides a clear and mathematically rigorous guide for determining the direction of the Qibla, the direction of the Kaaba in Mecca, from any point on Earth. He demonstrates how the theoretical knowledge of astronomy and spherical trigonometry can be used to solve a fundamental religious problem. This section is a powerful culmination of the entire work. It demonstrates that the four sciences are not separate, but form a unified, coherent system. The terrestrial world is not an isolated realm of matter, but is deeply interconnected with the celestial one. The movements of the stars are used to determine the position of the Earth, and the mathematical principles of the cosmos are used to navigate its surface. Al-Biruni's purpose here is to show that a true scholar is not a person who lives in a world of abstract ideas, but a person who grounds their knowledge in the service of humanity and the fulfillment of religious duties. The determination of the Qibla is the perfect example of this, where the most advanced astronomical knowledge is used to orient a person's heart and body towards God. Part 6. The Grand Synthesis and Philosophical Legacy. In conclusion, Al-Biruni's Kitab al-Tafhim is a masterpiece of intellectual synthesis and a testament to a grand, holistic vision of knowledge. The book is far more than a simple guide to 4 different sciences. It is a philosophical statement about the nature of the universe and the purpose of human inquiry. Al-Biruni, in a unique and masterful way, uses mathematics as the foundational language, builds upon it with the descriptive science of astronomy, applies these principles through the predictive lens of astrology, and grounds it all in the practical, lived reality of geography. The book's enduring legacy lies in its beautiful and systematic argument for the interconnectedness of all knowledge. Al-Biruni's universe is a unified, divinely ordered system, where the terrestrial and the celestial are in continuous, harmonious communication. The sciences, in his view, are not disconnected fields, but are different ways of reading the single, coherent text of creation. The purpose of this reading is not merely to accumulate facts, but to cultivate a sense of awe and wonder at the divine wisdom and power that underlies all of existence. His work is a powerful and elegant example of how a profound faith can be a powerful engine for scientific inquiry and intellectual discovery. Al-Biruni's approach also offers a valuable lesson in intellectual humility. He treats astrology as a science to be understood, but warns against its misuse and its deterministic claims. He recognizes the limits of human knowledge and the fallibility of human interpretation. His work is a powerful reminder that while we can strive to understand the universe through reason and observation, there is always a deeper, divine reality that lies beyond the grasp of our limited intellects. This is a lesson that is deeply resonant with the spirit of Sufism, where the ultimate goal is not to master the cosmos, but to surrender to its creator. Thank you for joining us on this intellectual and spiritual journey. Please subscribe to our channel to continue our exploration of the rich and profound essence of Sufism.